Hello everyone, this is Toy Reaper here again, and I wanted to start off today a little bit differently. You may have noticed that the whole skin thing is not the same as what my Iron Farm video was, but I had the issue where my skins would not load, so I came back in here, I tried to reload it, it deleted my character, and now I try to go in to edit the character, and it seems fine. Go in here, I try to change anything, and it gets stuck doing this. I Every now and then I'll get one, but it it's been a pain, and I've just gotten tired of it, and I'll get around to it eventually. Apparently next update's gonna have this fixed, so I'm kind of tempted to just wait for that and then fix it, but just wanted to give y'all a little bit of insight. But anyways, enough of that. Let's go ahead and let me at least there. Let's go ahead and get started on another episode of How to Minecraft, the Bedrock Survival Guide. This is going to be episode 2 here. Hopefully we're going to be getting around to making a starter base, hopefully getting a few starter farms going, and just some resource gathering, because all those things are going to take a little bit of time, especially to get some decent ones going. But let's get into it and see how it goes. Alright, we are here on the How to Minecraft world. If y'all watched last episode, you know last episode we got geared up here. We got some iron armor, some tools, we got a few diamonds here, some iron gold, and a little bit of food. So the next thing that we're going to work on is just trying to get a few things growing just to get started. Once we do that, then we're going to get more into resource gathering and building our starter base. So the first thing we're going to want to do here is we're going to want to get a stone hoe, which you can use to make farmlands to be able to grow crops. The way you do that is here in the crafting interface. Put 2 sticks on top of each other, and then cobblestone, iron, gold, diamond, wood, whichever one you want to use, place them just like that. You can do the same thing backwards there and it works either way. Also you can come over here and just click on that and it'll craft it for you as well. But now that we have that, oh, looks like the sun's going down here. Let's take a quick break and get some sleep. Alright, now that it is morning time, let's go ahead and get started. So first thing we're going to do is these tall grass here. If you break these, you do have a chance of getting seeds, which you can use to grow wheat, and then wheat can be used to either make bread for you to eat, to give to villagers for them to be able to breed, or to breed cows and sheep, which is hopefully going to be what we will be working on. Last episode I did go ahead and get some sugarcane planted down here, just because that is one of the first things that I like to do, especially since the growth rates in Bedrock is fairly slow. But next thing we're going to do here, when you have water source, you can actually go 4 blocks in a straight line from it and still be able to plant crops. So we could, if we're just going along the water here, we could have it going along, but for now we really don't have that much to grow, so we're just going to do this small little patch here. And if you ever want it to not be hoed farmland anymore, you can either jump on it or break the block and then place the dirt back. But for now, that's all we're going to have, and we are just going to plant these down just as if you're placing a block, put it there. And over time, these will start to grow, and then we'll be able to come back and harvest them later. As far as that, you can get seeds just from wandering around breaking the grass here. You're also able to get beetroot seeds to grow beetroot. You can get potatoes and carrots, and those can all either be found by going through villages and harvesting their farms, finding it in chests. You can get carrots and potatoes from killing zombies, but all that will come in due time. For now, what we're going to do is we're going to use these tools. We're going to go gather up a little bit of material here and get started on just a small starter base. Easiest thing to do is just go for whatever kind of trees are around you. Bigger trees are easier to get larger amounts instead of having to just keep going from tree to tree. With that, and go mining for a little bit, get you some good blocks, and the main thing about a starter base is that you're not really going to be... I'm never very concerned about how it looks. The biggest thing is just keeping you safe from hostile mobs, especially early game, whenever you don't have good equipment and one good creeper explosion and you're done. Depending on how talented of a builder you are, you may be able to build something that looks awesome with very minimal resources. I myself, I have a very specific kind of way that I normally build, and I've really been working hard lately to try and get out of that pattern. But I will say that the starter base, I'm never very worried about what it looks like. You can come back to it later and spruce it up a little bit, add to it, tear it down, build a new one. But for now, I'm just going to chop down a few more of these, and I will meet you back at the chest. Now, I just took down a couple of these trees. I haven't gone back to the chest yet, but I did want to share one more thing. When you tear down a tree, if there is no log within 5 blocks of these leaves up here, they will gradually start to despawn, and as they despawn, they have a chance of dropping on any tree. The leaves have a chance of dropping saplings or sticks. On oak trees, they have a chance of dropping apples. So yeah, whenever you're getting started, you can either just go around and break some leaves and have a chance of some stuff falling from them, or whenever you take down trees, just letting the leaves despawn gradually. And if you have a chunk that doesn't go away after a while, then you know that you left a log up there, and nobody wants floating trees. But for now, let's get this wood that we have, get it back over here, and see if we can't get some sort of shelter put up over here. Alright, so I've came back over here. I've got a few just basic resources. I've got the dark oak logs that we just went and cut down. I've got the cobblestone from whenever we went mining. And I've got some torches. So what we're going to do now is we are going to start off by doing a little bit of planning. I know it's not going to be big, nothing fancy. It's probably going to be pretty boxy. I do have these birch planks that I'm going to go ahead and use to make a door. And for the doors, you can use 6 blocks of wood there, and that design, if you want to place them in there, or just come over here, click this. For every 6 pieces of wood you make, it does make 3 doors. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to go ahead and work on the frame of our house. Now, one thing I do like to do is I don't like to just build the entire house out of 1 block. I do like to have some different textures, different colors, that sort of thing. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and start off, and I'm going to have the corner of the house right about here. Go up by 4 blocks. When building with logs like this, one of the things you can do when you have an axe, if you notice over there on the right hand side of the screen, whenever I look at the logs, it says peel bark. It does change the texture of the wood. You can still use it to craft planks and anything else, but I do like the way this looks. You still have the wood grain here, it's still directional, but I just think that looks a little bit better. Mess around with that sort of thing is completely personal preference. Now what I'm going to do here is inset the wall just by 1 block and just bring that back. Just give it some depth. Look a little better. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make this side match right over here in the corner. Then we're going to bring this wall down. And then same thing here. And just, don't get discouraged. Your starter house, I mean, it is not going to be winning any beauty contest. If you're trying to win design contests with your starter house here, then you're going to be spending a lot of time out in the elements just trying to gather materials that at the end of the day aren't really going to matter, because more than likely you're going to want to come back and either edit it, or you're going to be wanting to move as quickly as you can. Some people have started off with a starter house and then just added on around it, adding more buildings. But this is what we're going to do here. I went ahead and left this spot here for the door. Now, one thing about doors is depending on which way you're facing, if you place it on this block, depending which way you're facing is going to decide which side of the block the door is actually on. So if I stand here and place this door, it's flush with this wall. It is perfectly up against it. I can walk against it. Now if I take this door down and I come on the inside and place it on the same block, now it's flush with the inside, which gives us again a little more depth looking at the front. The other thing you can do with doors is you can put two of them next to each other if you're wanting to have like the double door here. That is a look that I like a lot, especially whenever I start getting into building bigger houses. I think the double door just makes the door not look as dwarfed by the rest of the house because of the fact you can't make bigger doors there. Unless you start getting into piston doors, this is pretty much what you're stuck with. So let's go ahead and get to sleep before the mobs start showing up, and then we will get back to work. Alright, so now I don't have a lot, but I will show you something that you can do here with kind of like a blocks of similar colors but different textures. When you're going along doing this wall here, you can fill all of it in. Just go along, fill it all in with cobblestone, and I mean it will be functional. You'll have a door, you'll have a wall. It still looks pretty good with the dark oak, but you can also come through here and throw in a few different blocks just to keep it from getting so cobblestone heavy. Cobblestone is one of those, it's a very loud texture, so whenever you build large walls of it, it gets very repetitive. But here, see, it's not a lot different, but it's just something to kind of give you something to focus on when you're looking at this wall, and the rest of it is not so just repetitive. Okay, here, while we're building, we actually had a wandering trader show up. They trade different materials from that you can find around the world for emeralds that we'll get later on. Most of the time this stuff is not worth the emeralds that you would spend on it, in my opinion. However, one thing that is useful about these guys is the leads. To make leads, you need 4 pieces of string and slime balls, and at the moment we don't have a slime farm, so leads are very useful. So just gonna go ahead and now whenever you kill the wandering trader, the llamas are going to try and kill you. Let's go ahead and take care of them. Llamas also drop leather like horses and cows. But now we got 2 of these leads, and the great thing about that is we're talking about trying to set up farms. You can use these leads to get animals and lead them around, put them where you want them, but we will come back to that. For now, let's get back to getting the shelter put up. I just saw the wandering trader show up, and sometimes they show up more than you can stand them. Other times you can go for playing for hours and not see them. So just a little fun tidbit of information there. Gravel also is a pretty close texture. You can put that in there. Just keeps it mixed up some. Now your character is 2 blocks tall, which means that if I put a roof on this layer right on top of that right there, I'd be able to walk around underneath that. You wouldn't be able to jump or anything, and overall it just makes the inside feel very claustrophobic. So I do like to keep all of my walls 3 blocks tall. For doors and chests and anything that you can interact with by placing the place block, the L2 button, if you actually click in, I think default is right stick, if you click that in to squat and then aim at it, you can place blocks on it instead of actually using the door. Let's just go ahead and put one more layer on here. See, here is the issue with early base building. You start running out of materials very quickly, and then you have to come up with whether you want to go out and get more of them, or if you just want to throw some random blocks in there. For me, I really don't want to just make this look too trashy, so I'm gonna go get just a little bit more cobblestone, and I will be right back with you, and we'll get this place finished up. Alright, we are back from mining, and I do have us some blocks here to hopefully go ahead and get this wall finished, and then we'll be able to get started on the roof. Just go ahead, finish getting these blocks placed in here. I like to normally whenever I'm doing random blocks, I kind of get into a pattern if I'm just going back and forth between them. I like to go ahead and my accent block, I like to go ahead and just place them sporadically through here, then come back and then do the base block that I'm using. Just to give it more of a random feel instead of getting into a pattern with it. But there, now we do have the wall done. Now, the roof, just like anything else with building, you know, you can do it however you want to. I've seen flat roofs, I've seen the Japanese style roofs that kind of kick up at the corners. Basic A-frames like you see on most houses that people live in neighborhoods. For today, I'm going to be going for one of the A-frame styles, which is just, it makes it the outer shape of an A. So what I'm going to do is this dark oak wood, I'm going to turn it into planks, so you can either just put it up in there or come over here, and if you hit triangle, it will go ahead and craft a full stack of it. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn all of that into there. I'm going to make a few stacks of stairs, and then what's left I'm going to turn into slabs. Alright, so now the way I normally like to do this, especially this helps out a lot with having these corners protrude a little bit. The roof, it does look a little better if you have it stick out some from the building, you know, just a couple blocks on every side. I'm going to do it like this, and we're just going to come along and do this row of stairs here. Stairs can be a little tricky because you have to aim at the bottom of a block or on the ground whenever you're placing them for them to be normal stairs. If you aim at the top part, it will be an upside down stair depending on the direction that you're facing. So you do have to be careful placing it, but that's the style that we're going to be going for. So let's go ahead and get this row here of regular stairs going all the way across. And see, sometimes even going in a straight line, sometimes it makes it act a little funny and I'll place them wrong, but no big deal. We'll just tear that back down. Come down here to the end, and I want to go one block past it. Now, something I like to do is on the back of these stairs, place one stair upside down directly behind it. You'll be able to see why better here after we get another row of these stairs up, but let me just go ahead and get this row going across. I get stuck in the doorway. There we go, and like so. Now see, there you can see instead of it being that sharp edge, it does kind of give it more of a slope here. So let's go ahead and pillar our way up here. And now on top of those stairs, we're just going to do a regular set of stairs going across again. And now going to another row of these. Building, I like doing the walls, the floors. I'm not a fan of doing roofs. They are the more tedious part, the part that is a lot harder to make it look the way that you want it to. I think some people do them great. I'm not a professional when it comes to them, but you know, like I said before, and like you already know, building it is a very creative thing. Everybody's going to have their own opinions on it, so this is what we're working with today. So let's go ahead and get this side started. Alright, now we're just going to do the same design that we did on the other side, and we're going to do it up, and you can either, using this style, you can either do it up till it comes up to a point, or if you want a lower ceiling, you can do it up a few blocks and then have it connect over. Not sure which way we're going to do it yet. We're going to build up each side, have them mirror each other, see what it looks like, and we will decide what to do from there. One common issue you're going to run into when building is being able to reach certain places. Something you're going to do a lot is have some sort of scaffolding block. Whether you actually use scaffolding once you get some bamboo or dirt, you're going to want to pillar up, and then you're going to be trying to get the different blocks. One thing to remember in Bedrock Edition, Java doesn't have this, but for Bedrock Edition, if you're standing on a block and you're looking beside it like this, as long as you're not close enough to aim at another block like there, here I can't reach the ground, so whenever I place a block here, it's actually going to place it on the side of this as if I was doing it this way. That will come in handy a lot. It is a feature I am extremely glad that we have on Bedrock, so definitely will be something that comes in handy for you. I want to take just a moment to remind all of you that I do put out content on my channel as frequently as possible. I do Bedrock Edition tutorials for different farms. I do my How to Minecraft series that you're watching now, just teaching you how to go through the progressions of your Minecraft world and how to... We're going to get into how to make some of the farms on here, but the more in-depth tutorials will be on my other playlist that I have on my channel. But if these do seem like things you're interested in, please consider subscribing. It helps me out a lot. And if you leave comments down below, I know which things you enjoy, which things you want to see more of. Especially if you have certain things that you're wanting to learn, I'm going to try to cover as much as I can. But the more feedback I get, I know what to focus more on, which things to spend more time on. It just helps me know which direction to take the series moving on from here. But also, I do have another world that I play on with some family members. It's a multiplayer world that we have, but me and my wife do split screen on that one. So right now, not having realms, not the best for recording. I do have one clip up from our last world that we had, just a world tour right before we finished the world and started a new one. So hopefully once realms come out, I'll have that going too. Get to see some of the faster progressions, more bigger builds that we have going on, some of the collaborations we have. But just your feedback is extremely welcome. It does help me out a lot, and you will get very specific feedback and different video content based on what you're wanting to see. Alright, I've spent a little bit of time building the roof up here, and it's getting to a point now where I think if I went up to a point, it's going to look a little disproportionate as far as how tall the roof is compared to the side of the walls. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use slabs now to connect this over in the center. And then all we'll have left to do is just fill in the walls here. Now this roof is a little complicated for a starter house. I have had to go get more wood a couple times and sleep a couple times. So I mean, you could definitely stand to go a little simpler with this, but I do like the idea of having this something that we're okay staying in for a little while, adding on to, maybe making some improvements later on. So for now, I'm going to finish filling in the slabs there, and then we'll see what we can do about the end caps down here where the roof is going to be up above the wall. Alright, so I've got slabs going across the top here, and all I did was just fill in this side with cobblestone going up, and honestly I think that looks okay for what we need it for right now. So I guess now I'm just going to come back over here to the other end and do the same thing. One thing you will have to do if you are using this design is these stairs that are in line with this wall, you will need to break the upside down stair here to place in the cobblestone, because if you don't, whenever you go to place a block there, let's see if I can reach, you wind up with that small hole there, which is kind of hard to see now because it's dark, but let me see if I can get... See, you can actually have that hole there, and it... While it's not going to cause any problems, I don't think it looks very good, so did come through, break all those, and then just filled in the rest of it here with some cobblestone. Alright, now that we got both walls done, now all that's left is just to come inside with some torches and just light it up so you don't get mobs spawning inside your house. And while we've done that, the reason we went ahead and planted some crops beforehand is because now, while we've been building that, these have been loaded, so all of this wheat over here is now grown up. We can come back, harvest this, get 5 wheat from it, and then we can go ahead and replant the seeds that we got. Now, since we got those leads earlier, the next thing we're going to work on is just a pen to get some animals, get them put in, and start trying to farm some food and some wool and just different materials that we're going to need a lot of. So we're going to need to go ahead and get some sticks here, get more wood, and then fence. As you can see, it's 4 planks, 2 sticks, or if you want to make the gate for it, it's reverse, 4 sticks with 2 planks. But for now, we're just going to make a good bit of the fence here. And just make 1 gate. So now just anywhere over here, I'm just going to put it up against the house. We're just going to make a little square of the fence here. We'll put this gate there. And the gate works similar to the doors. You can open it, you're able to walk through that, mobs can walk through it, but you can close it, and then you can't. Fences, while they only look like they're 1 block tall, they actually measure as if they're 1.5 blocks, so you're not able to jump on them or jump over them. Gonna go ahead and put some torches up over here. Alright, now that we got the pen, let's go get the leads and let's get some animals put in. Get these guys over here, open this. You walk through, they may fight over it, but eventually they will come through. Alright, now that we got them in here, and take the leads off of these the same way you put them on there. Just press L2 on them, the leads will come off and you can go pick those up. So now we have another sheep right here. Alright, now that we've got 2 sheep in here, for sheep and cows you use wheat to breed them. So we're going to go ahead, both these guys, that gets heart, go in love mode, and then they're going to have a little baby sheep. And you can do that as many times as you want, get a whole bunch of them, and you can either come in here and kill them to get the mutton and wool from them, or what we're going to do for now, we're going to come in here, grab 2 pieces of iron. When you go to your crafting interface, you can use a 2x2 here, make shears, which is just the 2 pieces of iron diagonal from each other. Now the sheep that are grown and have wool on them, you can come in here and use shears. The sheep will live, you get the wool from them, and the next time they eat from the grass down here, their wool will grow back and you can keep doing it. Earlier while I was out getting wood, I did see there was a village right here by the house, so on gathering resources, this is an excellent place beginning to get some resources. You can see here they've already got some potatoes and carrots. Come along and get these. And now we'll be able to start our own carrot and potato farms. They have their workstations laid out. These are composters. That's what makes villagers become farmers. I normally like to go ahead and grab some of these, that way later on whenever we get ready to do our own village or trading hall, we'll already have some and not have to spend as long gathering resources to craft them. We have a stone cutter here to make a stonemason villager. You can also come through here, get bells, you can get wood, cobblestone, whatever you need. When you're playing in hard mode, if villagers get attacked by a zombie, they will turn into a zombie villager every time. If you're playing in easy or normal mode, they sometimes will turn into them, or it could kill them. See this farmer here, he's a fisherman because of this barrel, so we're going to go ahead and take that too. Apparently there's another composter because he's turned into a farmer. A lot of times right next to villages you'll find these pillager outposts. We will be coming back to this a few episodes down the road, come back and make one of my favorite farms on Bedrock Edition, which is the raid farm. You get emeralds and totems of undying and just all kinds of loot from that. And you can use it while you're not even playing the game. It's completely AFK or away from AFC, whatever you want to call it. You don't have to be there. But today we're just going to go around and just manually gather some resources. Early game it's good to gather up as much wood and blocks as you can, some different crops, different food, try and get some animals for some farms. And that's what we're going to be focusing on. But I think that's going to be about all we have time for today. But as I mentioned earlier, please consider subscribing. Or if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. There will be more coming soon, so if you want to be the first to know about it, make sure you subscribe and you will get the notification as soon as it's out. But until next time, goodbye.